Welcome to this session here on the Advanced Room at XM Live Education. My name is Benjamin and I'm here with Derek. So we are also live on YouTube. So guys, if you are in the chat, either on XM chat or on YouTube chat, feel free to ask any question you may have. We can look at any asset or just if you have any interaction. Hey Derek, how are you and how have been trading for the past week?
Oh, hello. Oh, well, the last week was very exciting because of the interventions on yen. This week I started, the Monday was okay, but yesterday I had a loss on silver. So I must say that it's minor uh, situation for me. I didn't open anything yet today. I have an idea, but I'm waiting for a best moment to trade it later. Maybe I'll show you what is the instrument. But I think that you are showing us the dollar yen. And do you think that they will test this broken channel from the bottom and go lower, or once again there will be a game that the
This one?
market, yeah, will the market push up again everything?
I mean, so of course, this is a market which is highly dependent on fundamental news currently. So why did we have this big correction here? Is that we had like a joint intervention from both Bank of Japan and the Fed. This is one of the biggest drop I think we had like in a long time here. And the thing is, basically, Japan hold a lot of US treasuries, and it was either they were selling those to like to have their currency, or like they needed another thing to happen. And the Fed basically said, yeah, we will help you on this matter, but then they don't have to sell their US treasuries. They sold euro instead. Without consulting Europe, I would bet. I mean, I've not heard that they consulted anyone from the ECB, from the European Central Bank, as far as the news came, at least. So yeah, they decided to sell euro and support yen, and this is why we had this large correction. So now the question is it enough to change the trend? Because on every time frame, except like the smaller start frame, we are still in a very strong uptrend. Like if we look at the monthly, maybe it was a false breakout. Like here on the monthly, we had a high. Now it looked like a false breakout or swing failure pattern on the monthly, with possibly with bearish engulfing here on the monthly. So this looks like a possible area of reversing. But then we still have higher highs, higher lows. If we go on the weekly, we still have higher highs, higher lows. Of course, we have this massive weekly move now. But if we look currently, of course, we are still middle of the week. But it looks like it wants to get picked up in this area. And if it get picked up there, we still have a higher low on the close, okay, depending if we close
Yes.
above this area. So of course we are only middle of the week, so everything I say is, it depends on how we close the weekly. But for now, if we close anything above this level, we will have another higher low with a lower low on RSI weekly, which means we have hidden bullish divergence on the weekly, which is usually a divergence, a continuation divergence, meaning that the
Yes.
trend could continue. So on the
Yes.
weekly, there is the possibility of continuation. On the daily, though, and this is for me the most important time frame, I would say, my most important level right now is around 157, 158, like this level here, which has several confluence of things. We have this like horizontal level, okay, which has been resistance here, support, resistance, support several times here, resistance, and now could resistance again, okay? So this level is pretty important for the past year, kinda. We also have the 200 daily EMA and SMA coming exactly at the same level here in white, okay? And we can see that those two moving averages on the daily are very important because they have been support several times or resistance also several times here. So it's those are important resistance too, coming exactly at the same level. And as you said, we also have the trend line, which is either just a trend line or maybe a channel, like to be
Yeah, it looks
determined,
like a channel a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, but at least the lower trend line is there, and they all come together in this area here at 157.58, kinda. So this is for me my kinda like close to where we are. This is the important level. If we succeed to break above the and basically have one or maybe two daily closes above 158, so above the 200 daily EMA and SMA and above this small pivot, like horizontal support or resistance, I think we could maybe reverse and retest this level, possibly. But for now, we are exactly at resistance. So, I mean, this would be the area to try to short with a stop just above if you believe that the trend is reversing, because this is the area I would expect rejection if we get it. And there is
No,
also one other thing, and then I will just give you the screen. We have now equal lows here. This correction we had 2 days ago here didn't go below this low.
yes, I saw it. Just few pips left. Yeah.
Exactly, just a few pips. It's not a lot.
So
But
they
then
didn't make a lower low. Yeah.
exactly. But then now we have almost equal lows, meaning that you can bet that everyone who is long on this asset right now has stopped just below there. Not maybe everyone, but like a lot of people have stopped there, meaning that there is a lot of liquidity. Usually, when I'm basing on price action, even if I thought that we would continue higher, I would expect something like this, take those lows and reverse. So this is why I'm still thinking that this area here could provide a correction, like continuation of the downside. But of course, all of this is just, technicals. I'm not talking about the fundamentals behind,
Yeah.
and we could have any other intervention or any other remarks from Watch or Bicent or the Bank of Japan.
There's
So
always
yeah.
a problem trading an instrument which is speculated, manipulated by the banks. That's always a risk that they'll do something totally unexpected, like it happened this time, this big intervention. Anyway, it was, I read yesterday an article saying that because this intervention was done with euro, because they said that USA just changed their reserves, part of their reserves in euro, they exchanged it to reserves in yen. So it must have been a big amount that we had such a huge impact. But still, they do it on dollars, so they will just sell dollars and buy yen, or maybe next will be the pound. Reserves in pound might be exchanged to reserves in yen to help Bank of Japan to keep a lower exchange rate. And what I would add also, on Friday we have payrolls, and if the payrolls would be good, then we can probably see a continuation of the declines on this dollar yen. Or if they will be bad, sorry, but it will mean that there'll be expectations that Fed will cut the rates because of the economy doing bad, low employment, and then maybe this will be the opportunity to move dollar yen lower. I still believe that as long as they are below that channel, we still can expect another leg down. So I'm bearish on it. I'm actually bearish. Even looking at the MACD on the weekly chart, it's a bearish divergence, very perfect bearish divergence.
Yeah, definitely. Like we have bearish divergence. The only thing is that we could have hidden bullish divergence forming after, which is usually how some strong trends usually work. You have bearish divergence, you have a correction which form a hidden bullish divergence, then you continue on the higher highs and higher lows. So this could happen like that. So of course it depends on how we close the week, definitely. But this intervention from the US is kind of self-preservation, because they basically did this because otherwise Bank of Japan probably would have be forced to sell those US treasuries, which would have harmed the US. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not like out of kind heart or whatever.
No, it's
It's
not.
yeah.
It's not a gift. It's just a business.
Exactly. This is business. So they are basically protecting themselves also. So, I mean, this is kind of expected. The only thing is that, as far as we know from the news, they didn't ask Europe, or, I mean, they don't really need Europe permission, but we didn't hear of any talks about it, which is maybe a sort of, I don't know, retaliation for how Europe reacted on the
Strait of
past.
Hormuz.
Yeah, on Hormuz, on the tariffs we had a few months before on Greenland, all of this, which make like the relation between Europe and US not the strongest ever. So maybe this is a sort of small retaliation, like doing two stuff in one thing, like harming kind of Europe and also helping themselves and helping Japan.
Yeah, that might be also. We'll see if, because it's said that probably this intervention was only done by the US, that Bank of Japan didn't invest in that at all. So maybe now it's time for the Bank of Japan to continue this intervention, and maybe they will also sell their reserves in euro or in pound, and and change it to yen without touching dollar. There must be some, agreement between Besant and Kuroda.
Yeah, and we
Kuroda
will just know
was
at the last minute. So yeah. So yeah, I think in the chat, by the way, Kenneth and Jed who are there, and Danushka too, and Kenneth is asking about S&P. So maybe we
okay.
can have a small look at S&P, which is here. So I personally have, if you give me 1 second, a chart I'm looking at from the past year, basically, which is this one on S&P. And basically, this is the S&P, okay, without any indicators, okay. And the fractal, like there is above the S&P here, is basically the top in 1999 and 2000. So basically the top of the internet bubble, the kind of exact top where it reversed. And I'm following it since kind of this area or something, because of this large move, and I've basically followed this one, which has been, I mean, since I'm following since this area, it's almost a year. I've looked at this one. I've shared it several times also, which is very, very, I mean, very similar, very close still to the current price action. So I'm not telling that we are at an all-time high and that from there we have a bear market, okay, which is the hardest thing to know and to try to time. I'm just trying to say that if we have some sort of reversing from this area, we should maybe be very careful, because we may be in an area of distribution. Like this is like a fractal I've looked at for more than a year, and now we are, I mean, really close to the area, which is very important. So yeah, I wanted just to maybe show this before going, in the smaller time frame, because right now everything points to a very strong bull market on S&P. Like we just broke above previous all-time high. We are at all-time high. It's just a very strong term. We are like higher high, higher lows. Nothing really showing any slowing in this market. But this is something I've looked at for more than a year, and yeah, I would just be careful on any like move down that could be like 10% move down or something if we hit 8K or something. If we have this sort of move after, we'd be very wary of continuation after.
Well, the question is, all those You have here the S&P 500, yes?
Yeah.
And the second chart, those fractals are?
Is the S&P, but from 1999.